But I'm digressing because I'm here to talk to you about your album as well. I'm actually going to ask a similar question about the album. Now that you're releasing number 17, are there any of your albums that mean more to you than others?
Um, yeah, that's a really good point too. I hadn't thought of that. I guess as you release each new one, I mean, they're probably that you're most excited about those ones, because it's new. It's like I think Keith Urban once said, releasing new music's like having new kids, and you get really excited, and I am. I'm really really excited about this album and the tour. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It just feels different this time around, and I think it's because I've had so much time. I recorded the album late last year. So I've had so much time to plan it and get all my ducks in a row. And the same thing with the tour. It's sort of like in the past, it's all been a bit rushed and chaos and last minute and everything. Whereas this time around, it's all really nicely planned out.
Mhm.
A lot more, it just feels, I feel a lot calmer about the thing and settled. But yeah, I mean, there's been a few. Like one of the albums I had, I fought tooth and nail with the record company and my producer about putting the song called "The Genie" in the bottom of the Jim Beam bottle, right? And they were adamant; they did not want me to put that song on the album. They said it's just crap. That your fan base don't want to listen to that rubbish. And I kept saying, listen, I'm out every night playing I know what my crowd like. And I fought tooth and nail to get this song on the album, and lo and behold. It's been one of my most successful songs ever. So, I mean, that was a really special moment. I was really proud that I fought hard to have that song included. Otherwise, it could have been lost in the ether.
And it's such a great title, let alone anything else,
The fact that I wrote it with our future Prime Minister, Kevin Bloody Wilson, I mean, let's face it.
Exactly. But also, the point you make there about the fact that you're out every night playing to people, music, well, for live performers, you're one of the rare creators who actually get to interact with your audience. So I think children's authors, for example, they get to talk to kids a lot. But musical performers, when you're a live artist, you are out there, you're getting the feedback, when you're playing a song and it's resonating or not. And I would imagine for you over the years, you have developed a very keen sense of what your audience likes, doesn't like. And so we can see in your albums, there's that blend of songs that I am very sure your audience is going to respond to.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that comes from doing the hard yards. What do they say? Doing your apprenticeship, paying your dues, and all those years, playing in the corner of pubs and while people are in there yet chatting and drinking or busking on the street, for example, at the Country Music Festival. And you've got to try and keep that crowd with you. You've got to engage them. You've got to play what they want and keep them there. And that's sort of where I've honed my craft, I think, over the years. And yeah, it's funny. Like, and now when I see a lot of the young artists coming through, it's obvious to me that maybe they haven't done all that groundwork and they haven't done years and years of playing in the front at bars of pubs or in the lounge in clubs or out busking and sometimes you can actually tell. In a way, I think sometimes the long way of doing it's the better way, so that when you do get those opportunities and you are out in front of a big crowd, you've already learnt how to keep them engaged.
Yeah, it's about that art of being an entertainer, I think, as well as a musician. It's like you've got an amazing voice, you know how to deliver a song as a performer, as a musician, but being able to entertain is a separate skill, and you can really only hone it, I think, by being prepared to take the knocks of people not responding well, so that then you're adjusting. Because whenever an artist is starting out, obviously they're going to have some crowds that are like that and some that are enthusiastic. And I saw you perform your own shows separately to seeing Becky perform her show separately. So when the two of you got together, I was like, well, you understand each other as artists and entertainers, and that for the crowd is such a bonus. But yeah, that I really, really recognize now, the longer I've lived, Adam, what an art it is to be able to entertain. So that's for anyone coming to see you on the road, they will get entertainment.
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, Becky Cole, she is the master at that. And if I knew anyone, anyone sort of coming through that wanted some advice, I would say get yourself a ticket, sit in the front row of a Becky Cole concert and take notes, because she master entertainer. But yeah, I think Becky and I got the same attitude, you know, when it comes to performing live, and that's that. You know, there's so much doom and gloom out there in the world. People just want to have a good time and sing along and let their hair down and maybe have a laugh and just escape all the doom and gloom out there for a few hours, you know. And that's always been my attitude and Becky's attitude. And that's one of the reasons that we hit it off so well.
Yeah. Well, it has always worked consistently every single time I've seen you play together and also separately.